From the earliest civilizations to the present day, we have been captivated by the mystery and wonder of space.
We've always been fascinated by space. That's how we kind of start the exhibition, and we wanted to see where are we right now in terms of where artists combine, scientific progress and how they depict space. Back in the day, Leonardo da Vinci and the others, they were both scientists and artists, and today we see them as very separate things, even though they are very closely related. So we wanted to, through photography and video art, try to sort of explore what artists today are sort of envisioning about space.
Saksa fotokunstnik Najjar on kosmoseteadusega tihemalt seotud olnud viimased 15 aastat.
As a young boy, I was of course very much fascinated by Star Trek and Spock and Captain Kirk, and so this had a huge impact on me as a young boy. Yeah. And indeed, when I was for another series that I did, I was climbing the Mount Aconcagua. At that moment, I and my guide and me, we were the highest standing people on the planet. And that really gave me the inspiration and thinking about the idea of going even further. And for my next series, the next project, maybe fly into space. I approached Virgin Galactic, and in the early days, I became one of their pioneer astronauts. With the idea of, as a civilian, as an artist, fly with their spaceship into space. And on the next step, I was very much interested how professional astronauts train their body, their mind to be ready to fly to the International Space Station. And that is the reason then why at the time, which was in 2013, when I approached the Russian Space Agency and I asked them for permission to train with the cosmonauts. At the time, there were the Americans and the Russians, they were training together in Star City. So it took me about a year to convince them to let an artist in. And then I was allowed to do this as a performative practice also, but also I had to fulfill all the objectives of the real cosmonaut or astronaut training. The most impressive things I did was the flight into the stratosphere. So I flew with a MiG-29 jet fighter into the stratosphere up to 20,000 meters with twice the speed of sound. So that was a massive experience with the enormous G-forces that I had to cope with. And another very, very impacting experience was the spacewalk training. That is when they put me in a space suit, and then they have a huge hydro lab there with about 5 million liters of water, and there's a full-scale mock-up of the International Space Station of the Russian model. And then they let you down in 12 meters depth in the spacesuit, and then you have a simulated micro or zero gravity environment, and then you learn how to move in a spacesuit in zero-G environment. So that made me a trained astronaut and gave me the experience also, the mental and the physical experience already, which was the base for many artworks that I have created later.
You actually work close with the scientists as well. You were photographing the James Webb Telescope and everything. How much do you actually understand the science behind it? Because when people don't understand anything, they're like, oh, it's not actually space science.
That's a very good question. I work very closely at the intersection of technology, art, and science. I need to have a deep understanding of what the scientists are doing to a certain level. I was once at the CERN, at the Large Hadron, the Particle Collider. And then we go into particle physics, and then I reached also a certain point when I said, okay, that's getting too complicated now.
Michaeli lend kosmosesse peaks tänu Richard Bransonile startima 2027. aastal. Samas 2014. aastal kukkus üks Bransoni Virgini testlennumasin Mojave kõrbes alla, tappes piloodi.
You're excited a lot, but are you a little bit frightened as well, or not at all?
No.
You're ready.
Not yet, maybe. Maybe you ask me when I'm the day when I'm entering the spaceship, that might change. you know. But no, because I have done so many things, and I have a huge fascination for that. I'm well prepared, and also I have a mission. It's not only the flight. The mission is to do an artistic performance of that.